welcome back to the channel. Do you have a Retay? Do you sometimes take the shell limiter out? Or are you in a state kind of like me where the rule is you can't have 3 shells in the gun pretty much everything you hunt? Now this is the Ace R and this is the pump. So the limiter in the pump is longer than the Ace R, but this is a feature. This is a cool feature. If you snow goose hunt and you duck hunt, and one week you're duck hunting, you can only have 3 shells. The next week you're snow goose hunting, you just pop the cap off, easily take this out. Now you got an extra shell. Pump, you get a little bit more. But say we're duck hunting and now we're going to go shoot skeet. Well, take the cap out, just instantly pull this out. It's very simple, just like the pump. I already got the Retay Ace R disassembled, but you just, there it is, it's out. So the limiter is now out. That's pretty simple. That is a great feature. But like I said, do you live in a state where typically everything is 3 shells? So this Ace R is so fast to take apart. Like, this is one of the features of the Ace R, is how fast you can clean this gun. Problem is, every time I go to clean the gun or take it apart to show somebody the features on it, I take this out. Now, if you know what this is a shell limiter. This missing during dove season, duck season, pheasant season, goose season is a massive ticket. If you don't have this, that 4 shell that you could get into that shotgun or more that you can get in the pump is a fine. Me personally, I want to make it where I don't take it in and out. So I want to show you in this video on how to do it with the Ace R, how to do it with the pump, and how easy it is. Now, going this route, it does take it longer to take apart if you wanted to take it out. This, leaving it factory, is a speed way of doing it. The way I'm doing it, you're going to be stuck unless you take it back apart. But in this video, you're also going to be learning how to clean your tube, clean your tube here, what's this part, and how to put it all back together. So this is a 2-part video. So let's get to it. Like I said, I already got the Ace R part. The pump is here. So we're going to start disassembling the pump first, but it's the exact same parts. I'm going to show you every part that comes off. So let's get to it. All right, so you're going to need some tools to take this apart. This is the little cap that we're going to be taking out of the tube. Typically, you could use some split ring pliers. Just go in there and put them in the hole and then squeeze it. These El Cheapos here is not going to get the job done. So unless you got some better brand than this El Cheapo here, this one ain't going to get it done. I'm going to show you another way to do it. It gets the job done with tools that you probably already got. So let's get to it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is make sure it's unloaded. Most important thing. So you're going to want to take your cap off. So there's your cap, and like I was saying, here is the benefit. Like I said, this is a great benefit. This is really fast, really simple. But if you want to take that, take your barrel off. So this is the pump, like I said. We're going to take the barrel off and put that right there. Here is the part that we're going to be taking out. It's this piece right here. That's it. That's what we're doing. We're taking this out. Now, with that being said, there's a long spring under here. That spring has a lot of compression on it. So you're going to want to wear eye protection. You also don't want to do this in a place where this cap, when it comes off, like I said, it's got a spring on it. It's pretty springy. It's got a lot of pressure. If your finger slips, this is coming up. It could put a dent in your roof, in the sheetrock. So unless you want to hear every time your wife looks up and sees a dent in her sheetrock, I would recommend not doing it in the den. Now in the bottom here, where your shell goes in, is typically always a little aluminum cap, something like that. This is basically showing you, hey, you're out of shells. You can look down. That's why it's colored red. You can see that there's no shell in it. Typically, a shell is either brass or, you know, some kind of coating on it. But this goes in that little spring, and then this cap goes on there. That's all it is. It's 3 pieces. But you don't want to super oil your tube either, because you can see how much oil is just on this one. You can get a lot of dirt in your tube, marsh hunting, duck hunting, a lot of stuff. This is going to get really dirty. So if you're putting shells in and your shells are not sliding good, they're getting caught up, you're getting jammed, it could be because this is dirty. So, so this is also how to clean it. So to do it, like I said, you're going to have to take this out. Again, if you had some nice pliers, some split rings, you could put that in there and squeeze it out. This one came out a good bit. This one was really low, because you got to go at least, when they're putting it in there, they have to go at least that thick down, because it's got to fit. So like I said earlier, there's 2 ways of doing it. Use your split ring pliers, and if you don't know anything about split ring pliers, this is a freebie. This one is squeezing. You're going to squeeze it. If you undo it here and you flip it to this side, then you becomes a spreader. So if you find a pair of these in like your grandpa's toolbox or who knows where, or you're looking for a pair and it's set up different, you just take this off, flip it. Now it becomes a pusher or puller. Now the other way is the not recommended way, but you could take your Allen wrench, what I call them, you can put it in there. Again, this is not Retay's way of doing it by any means. They would not recommend it. But you could take pliers, you could squeeze these 2 together, and it's going to pull that metal out. And I'm going to show you not on there because my hands are full. So basically, you're just sticking them into the hole like that, and you're just going to squeeze that together. Now, like I said, that's going to work. You probably have 1,000 of these in your toolbox. Is that the best way to do it? No, this is the correct way. Also, eye protection. You need eye protection because this spring is under a lot of tension. And again, usually if you stick your tongue out also, like, that gives it a little bit more grip. And it's almost out here. Wish I could get it on camera. It's some raggedy. I'm not going to say where I got it from, but the store that I bought these for was to work on a project that I was working on. And it's one of them places where you buy the part to never use it again. And that's where they came from. So, like I said, there we go. We're out. Like I got my hand on that spring because I do not want that going up. That's a big old spring. So that spring is probably bigger than the semi-auto. I would be willing to bet it is definitely longer. Let's see. Yep, definitely longer. By probably a shell, because I think the pump can hold one more shell longer. All right, so there's the 3 parts. It's pretty nasty, oily in there. The factory comes with a lot of grease because they don't want jams. If I shake it, that little red cap's gonna come out. That's the end of the shell. So we're gonna want to put that back in there. That's where the spring pocket goes. We want to put it in this way. So, like I said, if this is dirty, it's really oily, you've been hunting a year or two, you got peanut dirt in it, you're out in West Texas, is grind. What I do, I typically take that cap out and then I just spray down in that tube. And you can use the cleaning rods like you do your barrel. You could use a snake down it, or the rods that take the little white cleaning pads. You can put it in there and clean all the dirt and oil out of this tube. Like I said, that goes back in there. We're going to put the spring back in, but this is how it was originally set up. Cap, speed, take it out, back in. That's speed. That's a great feature. If you got a grandson or something like that, you don't want them putting extra shells in it, take that cap off, put that in there. There you go. So that's the way we're going to do it. We're putting the spring back into it. There we go. We're putting that down in there, and it's going to be really tight. So we're going to push that down in there. Like I said, I'm going to keep my finger on it so I can show you. That's down in there. You see it? See the no witchcraft here, no magic. So all I'm going to do is just tap it in. I'm going to do the Happy Gilmore here. I'm just going to tap it in. Now, if you had some of them good pliers like I was telling you, you really all you had to do would be just to squeeze, which I can't see the holes from looking this way. There's one hole. There we go. You could squeeze that together. Almost got it there. Let's see. It is kind of odd. I'm trying to get it on camera. You know, not having a cameraman really does stink at times. All right, so now it's on that side of the nut. It's got some meat. For the most part, you would really have, you would have to load this thing up without the barrel on it to make that go out. But there you go. So if you just want to take that out, you're going to have to reverse it. You're going to have to take your pliers. I recommend some really good ones. Not them. But it is doable. You can take that out again. All right, so we're going to put the barrel back on. There you go. It's that easy. That easy. I can't even put it on. There you go. So the pump is done. Ta-da. Move back to the semi-auto now. All right, now back to the semi-auto. The exact same thing. Now remember, I already took this red piece out. It goes back in there. But like I said, you see how easy that is to clean? Just clean it out. It's going to get dirty. Your shells are going to feel real grimy going up in there, especially us duck hunters. Hunting in the marsh, the sand, it gets dirty. So put the red piece in, spring. Now, like I said, the spring is a little bit shorter, and this is a little bit shorter on the semi-auto because it holds one less shell. Same thing. Cap goes on it. You're going to push it down. Might would help if you had an extra person to help hold it together, but she's good. Now I do have the bolt all the way back on this, and if you want to keep it back there while you have your barrel off, you just push your button there and it will lock. Don't push that button without having your finger on it, because it will also send it flying. So that's done. There you go. That's how you clean it. That's how you. So we're going to put this back on. We're going to call it a day. So now I don't have to worry about where my plug is. If just something happens in the field at night in the dark, getting ready to go hunt or something, I don't know, something happens and I need to take it apart, I can now take my cap off. I don't have to worry about my limiter coming out. I don't have to worry about getting a ticket. I'm not going to accidentally lean it over and it falls out. Mine is now a 3-shell gun. Like I said, everybody isn't going to like that, and I completely understand it, and it is a speed feature. But if you like me, you clean it a lot, you're not wanting to forget, because you know, hey, look at all that gray hair up there. I might take it out to clean it, and I'm at home, and now I'm out in the field, and like, oh crap, I forgot to do it. And you don't want to put a stick down in there, because if you put a stick in there and the game warden comes in and he can push it in and that stick breaks, well, you're getting a ticket. So, but let's try some shells. So I went and got some 2 3/4. So with this bypass, I should only get 2 shells in there. So even 2 3/4, you can only get 2 shells in there. Now it might go, but it will not go up in there. That right there lets you know that ain't going to happen. I don't own any 3.5-inch waterfowl shells. I only shoot 2 3/4 in the opening weeks, and then once the January comes around, I'll switch over to 3-inch. So I had to go get some turkey loads for 3.5. So there's one. Good gracious. There's 2. It's in there. And the next one would go in there. So putting that in lock mode isn't hurting anything. There you go. All right, so here's the pump. Empty. 1, 2. Should not get in there. Ta-da. So y'all tell me what y'all think. That's a feature probably on a lot of shotguns that you can do that on. So y'all hit that subscribe button. I'll see y'all next time. I want to take a second out of this video to tell y'all every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a live. It's called The Waterfowl Den. We talk hunting, we talk turkey hunting, deer hunting, whatever hunting is in season, we talk about it. We have guests on, we have all kind of product reveals, interviews. So come check us out Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you then.